Hello friends, welcome. Today's big question is the weight of your leadership wearing you down? In today's volatile business landscape, CEOs often struggle with burnout, decision paralysis, and the crushing pressure of the result. But the secret to elite performance isn't no control, it is the strategic surrender. Trust me on this. If you want to learn more, stay tuned because we are going to dive deep into this fascinating subjects. Let's go. Good morning, everyone. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and picture the weight of your most significant decision this year. The stakes were high, perhaps hundreds of thousands of jobs were on the line, maybe the entire direction of your company hinged on it. Feel the mental pressure of that responsibility, the sheer noise of the data, the board's expectations, and your own internal voice. Now, open your eyes. We call this the leadership, but if we were honest with ourselves when we are alone at night or staring at a blank of the whiteboard, what it often feels like a diseased condition. It feels like burnout. It feels like paralyzing anxiety masquerading as a careful planning. We as CEO and high level leaders have been taught that success is about the grip. It's about the control, tighter matrices, and aggressive maneuvering. But I'm here to tell you that the greatest strategic weapon you have is not more control. It is the strategic surrender. And this is not a concept that came out of a modern business school. It's an ancient blueprint of the peak performance. It is a battle cry for the modern minds, first articulated 7,000 years ago in one of the world's greatest philosophical and the military texts, which is Bhagavad Gita, specifically chapter 3, verse 30. Today we are going to explore how an ancient warrior dilemma is the same dilemma you face every day and how the disease condition has a simple and profound cure. Before we move forward, we want to talk few words about our sponsors of the video today. Let me ask you, are you struggling to find the right solution for your business problems? I would like to introduce HelloGig.com, whose AI engine connects you with top-tier freelancers from your industry only, which helps in designing a better and scalable solution for your business. Whether you are a SaaS startup or an enterprise, HelloGig makes sure that you can focus on your core business. With HelloGig's global freelance network, you can depend upon all your technology needs, be it software development, artificial intelligence, video editing, or even something else. Ready to hire smarter? Scan the QR code given on the screen or click on the link below. Now let's get back to our video. Before we cure the disease, we must diagnose it. And what is the disease condition? The Gita doesn't just call it as stress, it calls it a state of internal warfare. The source of this disease is twofold: mental static and the misplaced attachment. Let's talk about the mental static. When you make the crucial decision, what does your internal environment looks like? For most of us, it is a hurricane. There are the voices of previous failures, the voices of competitor, the fear of quarterly reviews, and the ego's desire to look brilliant. This static is the performance killer. In athletics, we understand this. A quarterback who is worrying about the post-game interview cannot focus on the defense in front of him. In businesses, it's the same. Your mental static is high frequency interference on your judgment. It makes you slow, hesitant, and you are scared to take risk. And then there is a misplaced attachment. We are attached to a single outcome. We believe our specific plan is the only path to success. This attachment is dangerous. In a volatile, unpredictable market, it blinds us to the new data. It makes us rigid when we should be adaptable. It makes us emotional when we should be analytical. We become defined by the victory, which means we are fundamentally shattered by the defeat. This is the disease condition. The belief that your mental suffering, your anxiety, and your extreme emotional attachment are somehow proof of your dedication. They are not. They are friction that is overheating your engines. This brings us to Gita's cure, located in chapter 3, verse 30. The key phrase is surrender unto me in full knowledge. The word surrender is loaded with misunderstanding. In a corporate context, we think of a defeat, a weak white flag, a lack of initiative. But the strategic surrender in the Gita is the exact opposite. It's a tactical retreat from the internal battle so we can win the external one. Think of it like martial art. In Aikido or Jiu-Jitsu, you do not meet force with force. That is exhausting and brittle. Instead, you accept the force, you go with the momentum, you surrender to the attractor's direction, and then you use that very same momentum to neutralize them. You use their strength against them. This is what the Gita means by surrendering. It's an elite dynamic technique, not a failure. Now, let's break down the mechanics of this strategic surrender. First, in full knowledge. You cannot surrender blindly. This is not about being passive or uninformed. Strategic surrender requires deep analytical understanding. You must do the work, you must have the data, the market insight, the risk analysis, but then you surrender the illusion that you control all the factors. You do the best work you can, knowing that you cannot control the weather, the regulations, your competitors' move. This knowledge allows you to surrender only what you cannot change, focusing your limited mental energy only on what you can. Number 2, free from desires. This is about being the ambitionless. It's about detached ambition. It means working your hardest because that is your duty, your dharma, not because your ego is desperately seeking validation from the result. When you act from this place, you are less vulnerable to fear because your self-worth is not on the negotiating table and you are absolutely free. Number 3, free from ego, from grief. The ego is the source of the disease condition. It is the whisper that says, "What will people think of me?" Grief is the anchor that holds you to the past failures. Surrendering means letting go of both. Your previous mistake is a lesson, not a limitation. Your future success is a target, not a definition of who you are. The strategic surrender is the profound decision to let go of the mental and the emotional baggages of your action so that your actions themselves can be flawless. So, what is the result of this strategic surrender? The verse ends with perhaps the most important command, and it says, within quotes, and then you fight. The quote close. This is the absolute critical point. The Gita is not telling the CEO to retire to a monastery. It is telling you or us that true peak performance is impossible until you have mastered the internal art of surrender. The fight is your execution. The surrender is your clarity. When you surrender the mental static of ego and desire, a new static emerges. The psychological call it the flow. The spiritual traditional call it samadhi. The athletes call it being in the zone. In this state, your mind is perfectly calm and it's a mirror image of your personification. It sees the problem exactly as it is without any distortion. You're not thinking about your speech. You are present with your team. You are not anxious about the board reactions. You are focused on the integrity of the strategy. You are not fearing defeat. You are engaged in the process of victory. This is the peak performance. It is effortless effort. It is maximum output with minimum friction. When you have strategically surrendered the outcome, your focus is on the process becoming total. This is why the Gita ends with fight. Your execution becomes razor sharp because 100% of your energy is dedicated to the move in front of you, not divided by fear or longing for the finish line. You are no longer reacting from the state of disease. You are responding from a state of total centered power. We are living through leadership revolution. The old paradigm of the always on high control ego driven CEO is breaking. It is unsustainable for the human mind and it is ineffective in a decentralized complex world. The new CEO must be a master of inner resilience. So how do we operationalize this? It starts with simple shift in mindset. Before your next big decision, before you step into the boardroom, I want you to remember chapter 3 verse 30. First, acknowledge the disease condition in your mind, name the fear, identify the ego. Then perform the strategic surrender. Intentionally release the heavy baggage of the outcome. Offer your hard work to the higher pressure, to your duty, to the success of your team. Say to yourself, I have done the work, I have the knowledge, the result is now beyond my grip. I surrender it. And finally, fight. Step into the room with a clear mind, a light-hearted and execution driven. Execute the total presence. Use the immense energy you just freed up by letting go of the fear. This is not easy, it takes practice, but the alternative is the disease which you want to get rid of. So let that be your new battle cry. Let it be the calm command that separates us from the chaos and the fuel that drives us to the level of performance we have only dreamed of. Strategic surrender and then fight. So friends, I like to know what you think about this. Have you ever experienced such a situation in your life, or have you come out with that situation using this very concept? Do let me know in the comments below. And thanks for joining live, and I will catch you again in the next one.